Hi, my loves. So, of course, I wanted to get on here and I wanted to speak on what the pandemic overall has taught me, considering it's now basically going on 2 damn years since all this shit done happened and the whole world has been in shambles. And I want to say that one of the main things I've learned about myself and the world when it comes to this pandemic is that the government still ain't shit. Politics is garbage. Everyone is probably gonna die because all the food we eat is still full of shit. It's still full of nonsense and trash that's gonna kill us. And long story short, all you really have is yourself. All you can really do is depend on yourself because the government don't give a fuck. Inflation is real. All that shit is coming. One world currency, one world social credit score, and all that nonsense is coming down the pipeline. But overall, just to look at the positives, I will say that the pandemic has definitely taught me and all of us that the only thing you can do is use now. That's it. Now. Now is the main thing that I've really learned about the pandemic is instead of waiting to start that business venture, start it now. Instead of waiting to invest, start now. Instead of waiting to go to school or waiting to start that new job or waiting to apply to that new job, do it now. Because they always say you miss every single shot you never take. And truth be told, one of the main things I learned about myself is I have to stop trying to associate happiness with a destination. And instead of trying to associate happiness with a destination, just be happy and grateful for everything that's in the moment. So, truth be told, I've looked back in my life, I've looked back at all the crazy things that have happened during the pandemic, and I've learned, in a nutshell, that life only gets better when you say it gets better. I've also learned, because of this pandemic, to never, ever panic for shit. Because once you start panicking, you can't think rationally. Once you start panicking, you start being scared, you become incredibly anxious, you start getting paranoid, and you can't think clearly. And when you can't think clearly and you get paranoid and anxious, your vibrations are low and people can easily manipulate you and control you. Every time the media got on TV saying thousands of more people have died, thousands of more people are suffering, thousands of more people are this, oh my God, racial divide, hey, look over there, police shooting, look over there. It was like the media was almost channeling everybody's negative energy and they were channeling it to create more chaos. And it was so pathetic and so sad because a lot of what the media was saying, you realize now it was just done to just sell papers and sell news articles and to sell stories and to get everyone riled up and angry. And we all kind of realize that now that as humans, we're resilient. That part of being human and part of humanity is adapting to change. And I truly learned that the media is... I've always known this. We've all always known this. The media's not on our side. But the one thing I've truly learned is don't let people dictate your opinions, especially what the fuck you hear on TV and what you read in an article. Because I've learned the hard way because of this damn pandemic and seeing all this crazy shit going on that anytime I see a headline, I'm desensitized. Anytime I see a headline that says police shooting of a black woman gets murdered by police, black woman gets this, or black man gets this, or Hispanic woman gets stomped on by police officer, or COVID cases have skyrocketed and 50,000 more people are dying. Like the headlines will literally say that, or the headlines will literally say, you should be angry, sad, and scared and upset because more people are dying. Or the headline will say, studies show that police are more 10 times racist than they've ever been before. It's like little stuff like that have really just shown me that people will literally spellcast, speak shit into existence, and then people will like reiterate and see that headline and repeat it into the, I guess you could say, into the real world. They'll spellcast that shit and think that shit is real. And a lot of us have inherently been taught to just believe every fucking thing we see that the media and the news teaches us. And that's the main thing that I've learned is to never trust shit that only has a headline. If I didn't read the entire article, I ain't believing in shit. Police shoot up. Let me read the article, bitch. Clickbait title. Let me watch the video, bitch. Let me analyze, review before I give an opinion. Because truth be told, there's a lot of people giving opinions about things and they haven't even done extensive research. So that's just the main thing the pandemic has taught me is to just focus on not panicking, not being scared, and not having a low vibration. Because when you have a low vibration, you can be manipulated easily. And we've seen that happen where people were buying fucking 60 million racks of toilet paper, where people were buying 40, 50 fucking cases of water that they still have to this day because we all know that them going low on groceries and shit was obviously a ploy and a plan, which, let's be honest, you guys notice how all of a sudden shelves started getting empty when the pandemic started surfacing? Like you would see shelves get empty as fuck, which still to this day doesn't make any sense to me because it's funny how right when the pandemic happens or right when the global shutdown happens, things are just running off the shelves. And people start I guess you could say corporations start hopping on that shit where they'll hold on to their toilet paper, they'll hold on to their products, and they'll skyrocket the prices. You know what I mean? Like a lot of corporations will literally say, you know what? Let's not put more toilet paper on the shelf. Let's not put more Clorox on the shelf. Let's hold on to it in our warehouse. Let everybody run out of it. Let everybody get all panicked and scared. And then let's release more in 2 weeks, but with inflated prices so that way we can make more money. You know, those are just good examples of why you just can't trust the economic system, why you can't trust the rich, why you can't trust millionaires and billionaires, why you can't trust the media, why you can't trust headlines. All you have is yourself. And truth be told, if any of us were in a zombie apocalypse, 85% of these motherfuckers out in this real world, like in reality, would be fucking dead in a heartbeat. If any of us were really in Walking Dead, a lot of us would be dead in a heartbeat. There's a reason why in Walking Dead, only like fucking 80 people were around thriving and doing well and actually surviving, because most of society is full of sheep. You know, I associate society with The Walking Dead because notice how in The Walking Dead and movies like 28 Days Later, and you know those infected and zombie movies, notice how there's always like 50, 60 people who are hip to the bullshit, trying to protect themselves, are trying to be rational, trying to learn how to use a gun, trying to utilize their resources to make them last long. Those are the smart people. The zombies is everyone in real life, but except everyone doesn't know that they're zombies, right? Everybody's eating this processed food, listening to the media, getting angry and upset at every little fucking headline they see, and they're attacking people who don't share their opinions or quote unquote stay on code. Or how dare you think that about politics? How dare you think that about finances? How dare you think that about this, that, and the third? Even though I've kind of already known this bullshit, it really sunk in when the pandemic really hit and I seen how fucking stupid, crazy, and psychotic humanity is. One thing I learned is humanity is inherently incredibly narcissistic, where everyone is so obsessed with being right instead of being empathetic. Everybody's so obsessed with being correct instead of actually trying to compromise and come to a common ground. Everybody's so obsessed with calling everybody ignorant instead of trying to educate people and show people the way, or have empathy to show people their beliefs. And everybody has this disgusting outlook where they say, it's not my job to educate you. You're just stupid and I'm smart. You're stupid, I'm smart. And then they inherently turn around when you ask them a question. Okay, well, elaborate, educate me about this, tell me about this, explain to me this, tell me the statistics, tell me the numbers. Everyone just says, oh, well, you need to just look it up and Google it. It's just like, well, bitch, how progressive is that? How fucking productive is that? You know, those are just little things I've learned. And in a nutshell, I've learned that humanity is just narcissistic, egocentric, and people are obsessed with being right. And that's what I've really opened my eyes to. So in a nutshell, one thing that I'm definitely going to do moving forward is I'm going to do everything I can to probably, pack my bags, get the fuck off of planet Earth, and maybe move to Mars. Because human beings have really lost their shit, because human beings don't know how to think rationally. Everybody's so egocentric, so narcissistic, and people overall just are obsessed with their own biases. So seeing how everybody has to be politically on the same page, financially on the same page, mentally on the same page, culturally on the same page, just shows that human beings are inherently biased. And I feel like this is more so an American thing, because Americans are obviously the center of attention because of their bullshit media and their stupid ideologies that always seem to go viral, and the trends. You know what I mean? So those are just a few things I've learned. Another thing I learned is, instead of just waiting for opportunities to just fall into your lap, create your own. If you are someone that got laid off, your job was affected, your pay was affected, your business was affected negatively because of the pandemic, create your own opportunities and stop waiting for things to fall into your lap. Don't just rely on a stable economy and everybody being out and about to make money. If you were doing hair and your clientele fell down because now you can't go into your salon and do people's hair anymore, bitch, now's your opportunity to open up your own little booth in your backyard and start booking appointments. You know, make a little thread on your link tree and tell everybody, hey, you know, book an appointment to come to me personally. Start your eyebrow threading company, you know, start building business credit, you know, start putting 5% of your income to the side for savings. You know, before I never even fucking had an emergency savings. I had like a little bit of savings here and there, but I was always taking out of it because I was impulsively spending and I thought the world was always going to be the same regardless. I didn't expect the pandemic to happen. And now I put like 5% of my fucking income off to the side for like emergencies. Don't touch that shit. Don't look at it. Now I'm investing for the first time because of this fucking pandemic. Ever since the pandemic resurfaced and happened, I've been investing into things like crypto and figuring out stocks and learning about maps and learning how investments work. Now, Fun fact, I've actually started investing into my retirement. I have an IRA where I put money off to the side every single month. And by the time I'm 56 or 58, I'm going to pull it out and maybe use it as retirement money so I can travel the world like these old country club white folks who be in fucking Cancun and Tulum in Mexico and shit like that, you know? That's what I've learned, that you can't really depend on shit when it comes to the government and it comes to your money. People are apparently they're getting their social security shit affected. People are getting their money affected. Like, people are losing their homes. People are legitimately having to sell their homes because of all the inflation and all the crazy shit going on in the economy. And now no one can really predict what's going to go on in the next 2 to 3 years. You know, who knows what the next decade will be like for humanity. So I really truly learned that the only way you can grow, protect, and preserve yourself is if you just focus and prepare for the now. It's like the story with the ant and the grasshopper. All the ants prepare while the grasshopper just cruises back and lets everyone just live their life, save up, and the grasshopper just simply just wastes time. Don't waste any time. You know, time is now. That's one thing I've learned. I've also learned that at the end of the day, if I want to go do some shit, I'm going to go do it now. Fuck that whole, I'm going to wait for the pandemic is over so I can travel to Asia. Bitch, I will travel to Asia. I will get my damn, well, probably not now because, you know, right now they're doing that whole vaccine passport shit. So maybe in the near future. But even other countries I've always wanted to go to. I've always wanted to go to Trinidad. I've always wanted to go to Cape Verde, Africa. I've always wanted to go to Lagos, Nigeria. I've always wanted to go to Peru. And I used to just tell myself, you know, when the pandemic is over, I'm going to do it. You know, when it's over, I'm going to do it. You know, I'm going to do it, you know, when everything is safe. Stop playing it safe. You know, that's one thing I've really learned, that there's a saying that goes like this. Life is like a carnival. Some people play it safe on the merry-go-round and others go for the thrills of the roller coaster. You see what I mean? People like to play it safe on the merry-go-round because people always believe in playing it safe, or I just want to be safe, or let me just do this to be safe, or let me just, you know, go to college to be safe, so that way that's my backup plan just in case my business don't work out, or let me play it safe and let me just, you know, make sure I stay at my job and not apply for that other big job because I don't know if I'll get it and I'm nervous I'll get rejected, so let me just play it safe and stay at my job instead of trying to elevate to the next job, or let me play it safe and not start my business. Let me wait for the world to open back up so that way I can open up my cake shop. You know, it's like, stop fucking playing it safe and just do shit. That's one thing I've heavily learned. You know, one of my biggest fucking goals was to move to Los Angeles because I've always wanted to fucking live here because I love the weather, love the energy, the vibe. I just love everything about this city. I've always wanted to move here, and I said fuck it one day and just said, you know what? I'm packing my bags randomly, came with 2 suitcases and just said fuck it. I bought a one-way ticket to LA, stayed in an Airbnb for a week, roamed around, looked around, got my pay stubs off to the side. I found an apartment within the same week, and it's been history ever since. And even though I've been through some trials and tribulations, I don't regret my move at all. Those are good examples. You want to leave your hometown, but the pandemic affected it, you can still fucking do it. You can still get a transfer to your job if your job is corporate, or if your job has given you enough skills to where you can transfer to a new job. That's another thing you can do. You know, just say fuck it and just do it. I've learned that the time is now. Because who knows when this shit will be over? What if this shit is over in 6 years? What if I told you I could predict the future and I told you that this shit won't be over until 2026? What would you say? Would you say, oh, well, okay, well, in 2026 then, I'm going to start my business. Well, in 2026 then, I'm going to just, you know, get my passport and live my dream and finally, like, move to Paris. No, you could do it now. You know, if your manifestation and what you have in your head, your mindset is kicking in and you feel like you just have this longing to get something done and you feel like you're not progressing in life, then just fucking do it. Do what you got to do. If you want to have that kid you always wanted to have, go have that kid. If you wanted to just, you know, accomplish something or achieve something or start that channel, then just do it. That's one thing the pandemic has taught me. And after almost 2 years, crazy to say it's been 2 years, of life not being normal and everything not being the same anymore, I can genuinely say it has made all of us resilient. We've all just been able to adapt in many ways. So if you haven't found another way to make money, I don't know what the fuck you were doing in this pandemic. If you haven't thought of like a list of things you wanted to accomplish, I don't know what the fuck you've been doing. If you didn't go through your phase of like depression and anxiety, I don't know what the fuck you've been doing. There's so much shit going on to where it just makes you want to be a better person. It makes you want to be a tougher person. It makes you want to adapt. Because I was in the mindset where, okay, look, I'm gonna do YouTube, have my fun, live my life, and invest when I feel like it. Buy this when I feel like it. Move here when I feel like it. Because, I want to play it safe. I want to just live my life and just do it when I feel like it. Because I don't got to do everything right now. No. There's nothing holding me back but me. There's nothing holding me back but you. So, thank goodness for this pandemic, because this pandemic also pivoted my spiritual journey. Ever since I've been having my spiritual journey and I've been what they call open up your third eye, and realizing the energy of the world, and realizing the evils and the narcissism and the egocentric of other people, and realizing how the government, is way worse than I thought, and politics ain't shit like how I thought it was growing up. I've truly learned the importance of healthy boundaries, where I'll consume certain media and then I'll not consume other certain media, where I'll be able to differentiate my emotions from other people, where I won't get emotionally charged when I see a headline, or I'll try my best to think rationally when I'm in a hectic situation or in a confrontation, or I'll do everything I can to, I guess you could say, check my biases and try to make sure I think objectively rather than just following the popular opinion. As difficult as it is, the pandemic should have taught you a lot about critical thinking. Because we've been lied to a lot, like that damn dumbass BLM scam, like that bullshit that we all fell for back in late May of fucking 2020. All them damn lies you were told, all them damn fake headlines you were sold. Now that the fucking orange bitch is out of office, where did all the police shootings that were coming out every single week? I mean, I'm sure they're still happening, but damn media, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at now? Even me and other influencers have stated that, all this whole BLM and throwing your fist in the air and going out with a big ass sign and taking a photo opportunity picture for your Instagram to show everybody how woke you are just so you can get woke points. A lot of this performative activism and shit has just truly taught me that, again, human beings are narcissistic and of course want validation, but that you got to be careful what kind of media you consume, because some of the shit you see could be just trying to channel your energy in order to make you all desperate and angry and sad and worried and thinking a certain way. So I just be careful what media I consume, and that's a good example of my healthy boundaries. I've separated myself from toxic people. I don't think I have any fucking toxic people in my life at all. I have some very good, solid individuals. I changed my number. I cut off people who I thought were friends. I cut off people who I thought I was cool with. So many people who I thought I was cool with when I was living in Florida, people I thought I was cool with for years, people I thought I was cool with living in Los Angeles. I've just got rid of so many toxic people that I just feel like are not good for my energy, and I've let people go. I've let go of people who I thought I can consider family, people I thought I can consider close, people I thought I can consider good associates. I've let go of a lot of people, and you should too, because at the end of the day, when you bring up your goals or things you want to do during this pandemic to people and they dismiss it with, oh, you can't do that, or that's not a good idea, oh, well, whatever, or good for you. If it's your baby daddy, your ex-boyfriend, your cousin, your friend, who you think is your friend, your relative, anyone, let them go. Keep your distance. That's another good example of healthy boundaries. Keep your distance from toxic people, because there's a lot of toxic shit going on in the world right now, and there's no room for you to allow that toxic energy around you. And one thing I fucking learned when it comes to toxic energy is that I'll say 75% of people you meet are toxic as fuck, but just don't realize it. And I just do not have time for toxic ass individuals who are low vibrational, do evil shit, but then wonder why negative things happen to them, or aren't good people. That's what I've truly learned. So going through my spiritual journey during this pandemic has really shown me that not everyone is a good person. And I've learned to truly accept that. Because you can't control other people, but you can control yourself. You can control whether or not you pick up the phone. You can control whether or not you let them in your life. You can control whether or not you still interact with them. You can control who gets to be in your life, because you are the CEO of your own life. So thank goodness for this pandemic, because I'm so blessed that it happened, because it was a blessing in disguise. And shout out to everyone listening to this who your relationships were tested. This pandemic has tested so many relationships. People either got fucked and got pregnant, and there's a lot of COVID babies now where everybody's having a damn kid during this pandemic, right? So some people's relationships got stronger because of this pandemic, and most people's relationships were completely destroyed. De'Aaron and Ken's relationship got destroyed. So many fucking people got divorced. Divorce rates are up. So many people went through their breakups. Some of y'all know people personally who went through breakups, and it's hectic. This pandemic truly forced people to stay in their house all day and be alone with their thoughts. And let me tell you something. Your demons live in your fucking house. If you're someone that suffers from anxiety, overthinking, negative thinking, your demons are in your house. And that's why most people are so terrified of just staying home by themselves or even living by themselves, because your demons leave you the fuck alone when you're out and about and you're at the club listening to loud music. Your demons leave you the fuck alone when you're in the car blasting your radio, listening to your music. That's when your demons leave you the fuck alone. Your demons leave you the fuck alone when you're around a whole bunch of friends or around a whole bunch of people who distract you from your negative thoughts. But your demons, they in your crib. That's why when you sit there for hours trying to study, you sit there for hours trying to research, you sit there for hours just watching YouTube videos, I'm telling you, your demons just start whispering in your ear, telling you, you're not good enough, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that. See, they don't really like you. See, hey, you're worthless. You self-sabotage. That's what I mean when I say your demons, your negative thoughts. And I believe I'm one of those people who believe negative thoughts are your demons, and demons generally follow you around to try to navigate you to the wrong path or navigate you to the path of doing wrong to other people. So watch out for that shit. And that shit is real. Like, this pandemic truly taught me that your demons will test you. And a lot of y'all who were in toxic relationships and relationships didn't work out, your partner didn't just out of nowhere switch up on you. They were always that way, and the pandemic just amplified it. You know, you got to watch out for who leaves your life and who fucks you over when you're in a situation of turmoil and you're in a situation of anxiety and pain. And this pandemic truly just ruined relationships, but then also saved a lot of people, because without this pandemic, a lot of us wouldn't have done some deep thinking about ourselves, the world around us, family, friends, and who deserves to be in our life. This pandemic forced all of us to leave work alone, stay the fuck out of these clubs, because we know most clubs are shut down, stop eating out, and truly look at the bigger picture. And sometimes the monster in your closet is you. Sometimes the monster in your closet is you trying to stuff a whole bunch of shit and a whole bunch of baggage in your closet and dismiss people's behavior, so that way you could just avoid dealing with and facing your demons. And this pandemic forced me to face my damn demons, because with the world shutting down, me not being able to travel to certain places, me not being able to kick it with certain people, me not being able to live my life, make as much money as I was before, that shit has really taught me to find some ways to like maximize my energy, maximize my resources, and to utilize it to the best of my abilities. And now I feel like I can handle anything. Because what would happen if the internet shut down? What would happen if some crazy shit happened where you were in a hectic accident and now you got to find somebody to pay for your medical bills? You know, do you have a savings account? You know, these are things that I have been forced to think about. You know, my health. I've never even been to the dentist before. You know, going to the dentist. You know, little things like that. Just consider little things that you can do to repair yourself. You know, like I said earlier in this video, even if it means making a move, just do it. The time is now, because like I always say, you're not running out of time, you're just wasting time. I don't give a fuck if you're 35, 34, 27, 22, 23, and you feel like you want to be successful now. You're not going to get anything unless you actually put in that work and you take the initiative to go do shit. You know what I mean? So instead of being so worried about wasting time, worry about trying to execute shit so that way you can get shit done. Because if you're not where you want to be in life, all you gotta do is look in the mirror. And the pandemic has truly awakened a lot of us, forced a lot of us to have our spiritual awakening, forced ourselves to look at the people around us, family members, friends, and realize who needs to be in our life, who doesn't need to be in our life, and what we should do to change our lives for the better. So if you haven't utilized this pandemic to pursue a new money venture, to figure out your purpose in life, to figure out who should be around you, to cut out those toxic friends, toxic family members, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, because like I said, you're the CEO of your own life. What you allow is what will continue. So that's what the pandemic has overall taught me. I've grown mentally and spiritually and physically, and I hope a lot of y'all have gained mentally and grown mentally and spiritually and physically and even financially, because we've learned that the government ain't shit, but they some punk ass bitches who will obviously inflate the prices of groceries and will fuck you over and only give you like 4 stimulus checks a year. That's what we all learned. So all you have is yourself. Don't nobody got your back like you got your back. Those are just powerful things that I had to learn the hard way. And now I'm investing. Now I'm even investing towards my fucking retirement, which is insane. You know, I'm worried about what's going to happen when I'm 58, 59, 60. Now I'm worried about what countries I want to travel to, because I never traveled to any other country until the pandemic started. I got my passport like a month before the pandemic, and now I want to go to this country, that country, and I've been to like 3 different countries. Now I want to go to more countries. I've learned so fucking much about myself, about my own biases, my own ignorance, toxic people, and just overall, I could generally say that I'm happy. And I hope everyone listening to this is going towards the path of happiness or is happy, because truth be told, there's a lot of shit in the world going on right now, but all you can do and all you should do is be grateful for what the fuck you have. Because the fact that you're even listening to this just shows that you should be grateful that you even have a phone. Be grateful that you're way better than you used to be 2 years ago. Be grateful that you evolved in your career, you evolved mentally. Be grateful that you're actually going to execute maybe your big move to a new city. Be grateful that you've learned about toxic people and who didn't have your back and who left you behind and who fucked you over and who really was toxic. Be grateful that you went through your spiritual journey. Be grateful that you're figuring out your purpose. Be grateful that you've learned so much because of social media and because you've learned so much because of how the pandemic has been treating you. Be grateful of everything, because life is probably never going to be the same, and all this shit just might be the new normal, but the time is now. You know, a lot of us have procrastinated, self-sabotaged, sat on our asses doing nothing before the pandemic, and some of us are doing it during the pandemic. But then all you got to do is just quickly snap out of it and realize why you want better for yourself, because the pandemic can't be your excuse anymore. Because what was your excuse before the pandemic for all your self-sabotage, your procrastination, and why you weren't making that move or starting that business or pursuing that venture or fulfilling that one thing that you know you have to fulfill, or cutting off that one individual you know you damn well should cut off? What was your excuse before the pandemic? You know, it's like, are you going to wait until 5 years and say, oh, well, the pandemic was so horrible and that's why I never did this and that's why I never did that and that's why I never invested into this because it fucked with me mentally? What was your excuse before that? That's why I say the time is now. All the time you have is now. I always remind myself that we have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. Not the biggest fan of Beyonce now, but truth be told, I have a lot of respect for Beyonce's career and what she's created, and I always tell myself we have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. So I always think to myself, what would Beyonce do? What would someone like Bill Gates do? What would someone like, these evil motherfuckers like, like Kevin Spacey and all these rich and successful people like Jay-Z, what would they do? What would they do to utilize their time? And the answer is simple. They would use what they have to get what they want. They would start businesses. They would invest their time into reading. They would find different avenues to grow. They would travel more. They would protect their assets. They would invest more. They would start saving more money. They would start finding different ways to adapt and to protect themselves, because you can never be too safe. Never be too safe, but then you also got to take enough risk so that way you can grow as an individual. The pandemic has taught me a lot, and I'll always be grateful for this shit, because I ain't seen none of this shit coming. I thought I was going to be living my life. I thought, hell, if honestly the pandemic never happened, I'd probably still be in Florida, bored as fuck, probably telling myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to move to Los Angeles one day and I'll wait a little bit. I would have been playing it safe. But this pandemic showed me, bitch, ain't no time to be fucking playing it safe. Just take the initiative and do it now, because you're the only person that's going to live with your own regrets. And you don't want to live with your own regrets because you listen to other people. At least, do what you can to live the life you want and to adapt the way you want, so that way you can say you chose the life you want to live. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Please be sure to let me know what you guys want to hear me talk about next. Email me, hit me in the Instagram DMs, and yeah, that's that. Timeout is over.
So now what you doing to me is like me and you. I feel like chemistry. I wanna be your one. Take me to my place, 'cause the love you give can't be replaced. Now go down when you. It's my to spend my life with you. I wanna kiss you every day out here. I wanna show my world. Don't you understand? Your love is the one in a million. It goes on and on and on. You hear better. It goes all day long. Your love is the one in the million. Your love It goes on and on and on. You be so better all day long. Turn it inside out. Make my heart beat. Say no one else. You're all I need. You know to me. Here's the turn. Whatever your heart. Hey, now go down. Oh, smile. Your smile. I can't deny. Got a crush on you. Yeah, choosing me. And I'm giving you. Make me believe your love is the one in the million. It goes on and on and on. It goes all day long. Your love is the one in the million. Love it goes on and on and on. Your love, you has a house better. It goes all day long. I give you.